What's up, real MVPs? Ricky Whitmer here, and welcome into another edition of MVP Sports Live. You may have noticed, Ricky, there was a black screen, then it went back to the white screen. What the hell is going on here? Really, I was listening to Dave talk about the Pat McAfee show, and then I looked over and I went, oh, there's a black screen. I was not paying attention to that countdown.
Whoops.
And then Dave was just like, well, we could have been live the whole time. And I went, we have a system, Dave. We have rules. The rules must be
We live in a
followed.
society.
Just because COVID happened, Dave, doesn't mean... Here, serious question. I asked this question to Jake. Before we start, I'm beautiful co-host Dave Elster. How you doing?
Hey, everybody.
I asked this question to Jake, and I want to ask the same thing to you. So you know how we had like the Trae Young incident, the Russell Westbrook incident, the John Morant... Well, the John Morant's just different because that's just blatant racism.
Yeah, that was.
But the thing that I am thinking about, and I thought about, and this is where this question comes from, is do you think that us being locked up for nearly a year has been to the point where it's like, we need to learn how to act when we're in public again, people? Like, this is just like, you know, some things in stadiums aren't allowed, and you got to kind of rework, like, the social norms that we might have forgotten.
Yeah, I would say that some people have forgotten that they can't get away with shit in person.
Keyboard warriors.
Keyboard warriors. I mean, you saw like the early baseball games with attendance. There were a couple of those like said to my face, and the guy came over and knocked his ass out in one punch.
Yeah.
Like, bitch, don't start this shit in real life. That's not what we're playing with. So I do agree. I think that people are so out of touch with reality at this point because they've been locked in their own small world for an entire year that, they're just acting out and they're just out of touch. I do agree. Yeah.
Like, it's holy shit, we've been locked up. Oh my God, I get to go crazy. It's like, yo,
It
bro,
is.
there's rules.
Dude,
Society has rules.
Have you seen the arrest numbers from all the bars opening up again? There's
the
a
roof?
direct
Through the
there's
roof?
a direct spike for drunken disorderlies and all that shit. Like, it is very clear that people are enjoying their freedom a little too much right now.
Eventually,
it will level out.
Eventually, like the COVID numbers, they'll plateau, right? We got a, what was it? Oh, what was the term they used? We got to bend the curve? No, flatten the curve. Dave, we got to flatten the curve at the top. We got to plateau. We can't be getting arrested so much. Got to flatten that curve at the top. You don't want to have it.
People are terrible human beings.
I mean, humans in general. I know there's some people out there that are
left to our own devices, humans are terrible beings. Yeah,
mostly people are terrible, but we're not talking about terrible people.
Well,
no, are we? I don't think we have any terrible people on the show today. We're talking all NBA today. It's all an NBA week. We got
Anthony
playoff
Edwards.
Basketball. Oh,
Name
that's
got tossed
right.
up.
That's right. Forgot about that. Getting thrown in the
saw
Discord.
that in our Discord.
Apparently,
Plug
he
for
owes
Discord.
a guy. Apparently, he owes a guy $22K for, I guess they were playing, was it Madden? They played Madden online and he lost, and
Twice.
And now that now that he owes him the money, he doesn't want to pay him. That's
The
why
Twitter
I
DMs
said.
have gotten
That's
floated
why I
out there.
said he's a bust. And LaMelo Ball should have went number one. Character issues, Dave. Character issues. Can't have it. Can't have character issues on
Unrelated,
my
but
team.
LaMelo should have gone one. I agree with you.
Oh man, people are gonna not know trolling when they see it. But we've got a jam-packed show talking playoff games from two blowouts from last night. We've got
There you go.
topic we didn't get to yesterday that carried over in today. Dave, congratulations. You get to talk about the Magic and what they need to do after they, parted ways with Steve Clifford. They didn't fire him, Dave. They parted ways with Steve Clifford. We all know what that means. And then we're talking Lakers draft today. Just like stats, they parted ways. And then we're talking Lakers draft. Should they go with their first round pick? I think they only have a first. I'll have to look at that when we get into it. But before we get into everything, very quick housekeeping. Number one, if you're not in the MVP Discord, go ahead, join it today. That link is down below in the description. It is the best community in the universe, talking all the sports that we love each and every day with you guys and us. And it's just a grand old time. You should join it. Take my word. Yeah. Link down below. If you want to support us, either go to patreon.com/MVPvids, link down below, or become a channel member. same perks, same rewards for supporting us. And we feel we love our supporters. And thank you to our Patreon sponsor, Pat Hill. And then sub, like, notification bell, comment, everything for the algorithm. Do all that so you keep track of MVP videos, and we get to know what you guys think of the beautiful sports we talk about each and every day. But Dave, the first thing we will talk about are these playoff games. I guess they were games. If you
could call them.
I mean, technically, when I'm looking at it, it does say Game 2 and Game 1 next to it, so I guess they were games. But we'll start with the East. I'll ask you this: are the Bucks dead? Are the Bucks dead in the water? Is this? I was thinking, Dave, this is going to go 7 games either way. I'm going to put 25 on the Bucks, 25 on the Nets. No matter who wins, I'm going to win. This is going to go 4, right? It's going to go Nets in 4 without James Harden.
Well, here's the weird thing that that people maybe are starting to notice is Chris Middleton's an absolute fucking no-show.
We talked about him of a barn this series.
Talked about him heavily as the big 3 of the Bucks. He needed to be that guy. And it's like, you regular season Chris Middleton's like up here, but when your mom's like, we've got Chris Middleton at home, you get playoff Chris, not against the Celtics. It's just, it's not good. He has been an utter disappointment. I like that Giannis has just admitted, he's like, that's Kevin Durant. That's what he does.
Yeah.
Like, there's no getting around the fact that he's the greatest scorer of all time. It's just who he is. He's the most efficient. He has such a unique body that allows him to have almost uncontestable shots. And he's doing it at an incredible rate his entire career, regardless of injuries. You know, it's incredible what we're witnessing. But on the other hand, this Bucks team, man, it's got to feel terrible. Like, you feel like you conquered your demons. You're like, round 1, we went out there. Everybody clowned on us for what happened with the Heat last year in the bubble. Put it past us. We spanked them this year. Wasn't even close. There were no doubts. I was in here being the biggest Heat fanboy, trying to claim why the Heat were going to crush this series and prove it. Didn't happen. It went the complete opposite way. Unfortunately, the Bucks are just, they're outgunned. They're outmatched. Like, I don't know what the expectations should be for them in this series. I did love the fact that the NBA asked the Nets to not put the shot clock up for the 10-second free throw for Giannis anymore. And I'm like, that's cute. You think they're going back to Brooklyn again?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, they're not going.
It's over. It's over.
I want it to go back to Brooklyn again. My money wants it, but my heart says this is a sweep.
It feels so over. And like,
the Bucks may get one game like, it's either going to be a sweep or a gentleman's sweep. Like,
Giannis needs to put up 40 a night. That's why he isn't taking all the shots. Why the game plan isn't Giannis bulldozing the paint every possession, putting guys in foul trouble. Like, the Nets don't have excellent depth. We all know that. And yet the Bucks aren't trying to create those fouls and create that contact. Like, yes, they abused Blake Griffin, but not as well as the Boston Celtics did. Yeah. Boston switched on everything, punished them, and now I feel like the Bucks aren't able to attack in the same manner as they need to. It feels helpless for them, and the question's already out there with Bud. Is he gone?
I'll ask you this: what else do you want him? Is there anything in this series that he could be doing differently? Because I look at it and I go, some of the things that I just observe is, number one, we said it, Chris Middleton has basically been a negative out there. Like, can't hit the broadside of a barn. The game 1, I put 25 points on him, and then I watched him play, and I went, who the fuck is this? I didn't see him in round 1. I didn't see him against the Miami Heat. And also, it's like, yeah, the Nets are in a deep team, but when you're getting at least 13 from Bruce Brown, former Piston out there.
He is a fucking gem. And we all knew about it watching the Pistons last year. That kid was special. And we're all like low-key, like, Tank Commander, yes, but same time, like, he's kind of got that, like tweener, do-it-all, like, mentality. I kind of think he's something, man.
Like, when you're
kudos to the Nets.
When you're getting 6 of 10 from him, and, like, yeah, Joe Harris had an off night. I think he had, like, 5 or 6 threes in game 1, maybe 7. And he only had 3 in game 2, Dave. But when you're getting at least 3 threes from Joe Harris, yeah, the bench is, like,
He had the garbage time with Shamwet just going off a little.
I mean, the leading scorer off the bench was James with 10 points,
Yeah,
but like
Mike James. Who?
go ahead.
I was just
I
Mike
thought you said
James.
who, and then you were gonna go on and say something.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know what to say. Like, this is something to where I look at, like, if I'm Bud, I just look up the owner's box and I go,
Jake,
like,
great comments from
Mm-hmm.
YouTube chat. They play drop coverage for an entire game. Have you not watched the Bucks this year? That's all they ever fucking do.
Mm-hmm.
That is their answer. That is how they use Brook Lopez. That's how they defensively scheme. They always go drop coverage. They try to beat you. It's not half. I don't know why I'm going Trump hands. I'm talking
Kevin
about this.
Durant will hit a
feel
jumper in your face.
bad. Yeah, there's no chance that will be a successful situation when you have such efficient shooters between Kevin and Kyrie out there with the incredible 3-point shooting on the outside from a bunch of role players. So like, it's a bad matchup on paper, but it's a worse matchup from just a raw like talent point. Like, I'm sorry James isn't there. Great news, James is going to get some rest. That's we don't need him this round, which is awesome.
I mean,
they will need him for the Hawks, obviously, but we'll have to wait and see until that series.
Did you just say they'll need him for the Hawks? Is that what you said, Dave? The only other thing before we get into the West that this reminds me of a little bit, not as much, but like a little bit of it, is like when you're talking about they got over the demon of the Heat. It's like, it kind of reminds me of the 90s Pacers, where it's like they got the battle with the Knicks in the playoffs. Knicks always beat them. Knicks beat them. And then it's like the Reggie Miller of 95, where it's like, we finally beat them. It was great. But guess what? It wasn't the Eastern Conference Finals. We had to play Orlando in the next series and lost in 7.
That was yeah.
It's like, oh my God, we beat the Heat. We got revenge for last year. Oh wait, we still got 2 more series to go to the finals, and we got to play the Nets now in round 2.
We'll leave the Bud conversation for another day, because I know that will happen if and when they lose out.
Yeah, Philly P, what up, Bridges?
What up?
Says Bucks don't have enough. They never had enough. Nets got the perfect matchup this round. I think you're right. I think the Nets sweep it after what we saw in the first 2. What about the Suns? Is this going to be a sweep? So here's my question.
No. Don't get out of here with that shit.
No. Is it going to be a sweep by the Suns, or what I've always been saying, gentlemen sweep, Suns in 5?
Okay. So this series all comes down to the center play. DeAndre Ayton today is collecting his high fives, his praise.
Yep.
He's absolutely loving everything about it, because he got the better of the Joker, the MVP of the regular season this year. He had a great performance. No one can deny that. But the fact of the matter is, this is a well-balanced Suns team versus a team in the Nuggets where they literally got tanked by Monty Morris in the bench play. I mean, it was horrendous to watch. It felt like a gut punch watching him take shots. I gave him a wet boy in their previous series. Yeah. He has had great games, but this was the opposite. This was the worst I've ever seen him play in a playoff series. I don't know if it's credit to campaign, credit to Chris Paul. Their combined coverage on him forcing him into bad situations, but that bench play from the Nuggets, really a team that we normally praise for their depth, it just was not there for them. So that was obviously disappointing. What was interesting to me was the fact that how the Suns got out to that early lead. Jay Crowder was getting the majority of looks early in the game, and then all of a sudden it's like something snapped, and they just realized like, oh wait, we can also go here. And then this opens up, and because Jay's getting the attention now because he hit early shots, we have extra ball movement, and it's just like that Suns system works so well, and it's just they're making the extra pass, they're making the right moves, and I just want to credit Chris Paul as their head coach for being on the court, being the floor general, and making sure shit gets done the right way. So it's going to be a great series. I don't think it's a sweep. I don't think it's a gentleman's sweep. I think this Jokic can come back. MPJ can shoot 12 of 16. Like, there are things that they can't account for in in those matchups, but it will take epic performances from both of those guys to make this a series.
Well, and I mean, that's the reason why in this one, I think it's easy that Phoenix wins this. And that's the reason why I'm sitting at, like, with me before I was like, okay, it's going to be Suns in 5, is because, this series is totally indicative to me on the Suns. The Nuggets can do whatever they want. To me, the series will be dictated on what Suns we get. If they play like they did in Game 1, this is over. It's not even a contest. It ain't going 7 because, like you said, the bench of the Nuggets, it had been hit or miss in the first series. But the reason why it went 7 was the Trailblazers were also hit or miss. Like, Game 1, Anthony Simons, Melo, they're all hitting shots. It's like, oh, we look great.
Hang on, Ricky. It's a make-or-miss league.
It's a make-or-miss league, Dave. But I mean, like, Damian Lillard had to do it all on his own. He was like, guess what? The refs are going to help me. I'm going to hit 2 game-tying shots. We're still going to lose in overtime because CJ can't stay in bounds.
Cool it on the ref love, okay? No one likes the refs.
No. You're telling me, and I am not Jake. I do not bitch about the refs. You are not telling me that Austin Rivers foul was not a foul because it wasn't a foul, Dave. I looked at it many times. I watched the game the next day and was like, I watched the whole game and I was like, that's not a foul.
I can't say that it was a foul, Ricky. I'm just saying that the refs have not done any teams.
You looked at it a second time and still said it was a foul.
It hasn't felt proportionally lopsided, is what I'm saying. It feels like the refs are fucking up everywhere equally almost. Yeah. And we're about to see the worst ref game of the entire playoffs. Have you seen the lineup for tonight?
Yeah, Jake in Discord put in how
I saw that.
Who was it? It was Foster and what's the other name? He's got it in the Discord. Jake, tell us in chat because I'm forgetting the 2
Tony
names. Brothers and Scott. That's our Fosters and Scott. No, Foster and Brothers. I'm fucking it up. The 2 worst refs since since what was his name? It wasn't Jerry West? Jim West? Jerry? No, the bald guy. The bald guy, Dave. The one that he had every Bulls Heat game, and I fucking hated it. But back to the Nuggets and Suns. The Suns are different than the Trailblazers though, because if Chris Paul plays like he did. Yeah. And Booker just continues to play like he does, the series is Suns.
Well, that's Chris Paul playing is always the question mark. This is the story of Chris Paul's career. Chris Paul, playoffs, health. Mm-hmm. Can he maintain his health through the series? Because we've seen this situation play out before. Literally with the Rockets, they had the best team in the league. It wasn't even fucking close. The threesome of Harden, Chris Paul, and Clint Capella were fucking disgusting. Like, they lost 3 games together during the regular season that year when they all played. It was insane. And I think people forget how dominant that team was because of the way it went out. The 27 missed shots in a row. You know, Chris Paul not being there for his team when they need him most. Yeah. I pray that we have a healthy Chris Paul story because could you think about what it would do for his legacy to carry a young Suns team through the playoffs like this? And then also I think at the same time, like James Crowder. Jay Crowder. I got James in my head now because you fucked with me. Yep. Jay Crowder. Last year on the Heat, this year on the Suns. His career, he's been like a mercenary wing. He's known for being one of the best wing defenders in the league who can hit open shots. We saw what he was able to do to slow down LeBron James at times. I think that he's someone who, as a veteran on this team, has been one of the best additions they've had.
Yeah. I mean, also, Eric helped me out. Joey Crawford. I'm thinking West is the baseball ump. Joey Crawford, the bald
MFer. Joe West is baseball.
Oh, man. Fucking, I hate Joe Crawford for every Bulls Heat game that he was called. He's the one that's like, he would rip the ball out of your hands at the foul line because the game was all about him, not about the players. But to me, this Suns team, if they play like they did in Game 1, I have a feeling that unless they play the Clippers in the Western Conference Finals, they're going to the final. Like, if they match up against the Jazz, I would pick the Suns to beat the Jazz in a series.
I
don't know if it goes 5. It might go 6 or 7.
That is the ultimate team series, though. Like, it's team versus team. I mean, we're talking 7, 8 deep on both of these.
Coach of the Year matchup, by the way. Who should have won Coach of the Year? And I love Tommy T. You're talking Quinn Snyder and Monty Williams should have won Coach of the Year. Either one of those two.
You mean Steve Nash or
you mean Mike
D'Antoni? Steve Nash or Chris Paul? That's Coach of the Year voting for me.
Mike D'Antoni, Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
Hey Mike, what do we do? Just do what we did in Phoenix.
I mean, that's what we did in Houston. He's got the answers, and that's the great thing is the basketball IQ displayed in the playoffs is awesome. like watching these games, it's on another level, and I think that watching older players, you're starting to like pick
Yeah.
up. I feel like I'm picking up on that more as I get older.
Hmm.
Like the smart plays by Chris Paul, the great coaching by some of these guys who have been around in the league for so long. Like
Yeah.
the way they pick up on the pace of the game and the
Hmm.
little things, it's just crazy to see how it goes. So I mean, all the credit in the world to Chris Paul, but I think this is going to be a series that they will have to grind out. I think Jokic is nothing to sleep on.
Hmm.
I mean, the big question for me on the Nuggets side that we kind of whatevered on, but
Yeah.
is can do they have any answers to slow down Booker? Because I feel like he will get his pop off games.
Hmm.
Like this was a reserved game from him. Like he didn't take 40 shots tonight. It was ball movement. It was unselfish play. I'm like, this is uncharacteristically not Devin Booker.
Yeah.
What I'm watching right now is team basketball Devin Booker, which is kind of cool. But like, I feel like he can really abuse the fact that they don't really have an answer for him at the guard position to slow him down. So I just there's a lot of question marks there.
Yeah. The way you stop Devin Booker is you have someone else step up on the other side to cancel him out. Where it's like, oh, he had 21. Well, guess what? Monte Morris. Okay. Austin Rivers, they also had 21 that canceled out his points in the end. Before we talk about Laker draft, Dave, let's kind of make a segue, a little detour into the East, because the Orlando Magic have, like I said, parted ways with Steve Clifford, which I will say before we start, I saw on Facebook today. Did you see Charles's quote about the coaches, where he basically made and he's 100% right. I just want to mention it because, yet again, Charles doesn't get respect for some of the smart things he says.
Sometimes, yeah.
And he basically goes, like, he basically made the comment of, like, yeah, they only part ways with the white dudes. They fire brothers. And I was like, I kind of feel like the part ways thing is like, that's just all we see in sports. It's like, hey,
I feel like we don't
want to be a dick and fire you, so we're gonna part ways with you. It's like, no,
I feel like it's a new PC term. No, it's a new like PC term. It's like you said, we're not trying to throw people under the bus. We know what's best for our organization, and we know how to not hurt you as hard as saying this team has fired you means you're a failure. Saying we're parting ways, like we have different ideas of what things are going.
Some coaches deserve that though, to where it's like Bud deserves to be fired in Milwaukee. He doesn't deserve to be let go or
I think it's funny though because we're talking about one of the most successful regular season coaches of the decade. You look at the decade as a whole and what he's done, and he is phenomenal. But his playoff performances have been lacking.
Yeah.
And it's weird, but you're kind of stuck at that plateau of, hey, we're very good, but we're never gonna win a championship with this guy. And I mean, like, are you more angry at that guy than the guy who goes like 12-60? Like, I don't know. I mean, what did you expect Clifford to do this year? His best player was hurt up before the season started. His second best player got hurt a week into the season, looking like he was going to break out. Like, and you traded away his all-star center and his, wing forward, two-way wing forward. Like, I don't know what the expectations were, but I'm happy that he's gone. At the end, like, I don't blame him for it, but I'm happy he's gone at the end of the day.
Let me ask you this though, when it comes to the Magic, it's kind of the similar question I asked Jake when it came to the Trailblazers. Yeah. Take names out of it. Okay. If you are building the prototypical or the prototype coach that you want for the Orlando Magic, like, obviously they're not looking for, like, the article I'm looking at here goes, the first coach on their list is Terry Stotts. A coach like that, a coach that's like, I want to go to a playoff contender, is not going to come here. Is this going to be a team that is searching for a Billy Donovan, like the Bulls got last year? Someone to where it's like, hey, we can still be a good team, add in young talent, get Jonathan Isaac back, get Markelle Fultz back, see what this team has? Or is this a team that's like, we need a guy who we're not going to put expectations of winning on, and it is just pure development for the Orlando Magic?
I would want to go with someone who can grow with the team. I don't think this is a playoff expectation. I feel like so much of this roster is just young, raw talent. I absolutely do not want Terry Stotts near my team. Yeah. That is not the guy who's going to help them. I would be looking at the assistant level. I would be looking at someone to give them a chance. Obviously, the hottest name right now, because
Mm-hmm.
there hasn't been a long-term deal yet, you got to look at Atlanta and you go, Nate McMillan has
Yeah.
been doing some shit.
But does he go to a
Okay,
playoff team? That's the thing.
does
Like,
he go to a? Does he stay with Atlanta? Do they throw the bank
I
at him
would. I
to
would.
keep him there?
Mm-hmm.
His results with Trey Young and a healthy roster
Mm-hmm.
have shown something, and I think that that's awesome because for his time in Indy, he had an injured roster for large portion of that. He was missing key pieces,
Mm-hmm.
and I felt like he just had to eat the blame for poor roster construction
Yeah.
and then unlucky injuries. So it is what it is. But at the end of the day, like McMillan's got to be the hottest name in coaching
Mm-hmm.
available in air quotes because we don't know yet.
Yeah.
I would love to see what happens with that. Outside of him, though, like I've seen people out there. Obviously, you have the names that always get thrown around. Chauncey's one who obviously is available, but maybe
Mm-hmm.
will be picked up by the Blazers. You also have a certain step over who I don't know. Look, there's a lot of bad coaches
You
I
already
believe out
saying
there.
Ty Lue getting fired from the Clippers?
I'm just saying, if he loses, if he
I
loses, he
was
will
gonna
be
say, I know
available.
we ain't bringing in Allen Iverson into. He won't go to practice, Dave.
No. I'm saying like if they lose and Kawhi walks
Mhm.
in the offseason,
Yeah.
I mean, if you rip that cord, there ain't
Yeah.
no reason to keep Ty Lue around if you don't got
So
Kawhi there.
the thing
Uh,
that you mentioned
yeah.
though that I
Mhm.
liked was you said a coach that can grow with this team.
Yes.
And the first example that popped into my head was, oh, so like what the Grizzlies did with Jailer Jenkins.
Yeah,
And
that
he
would
was
be.
so he was an assistant with the Bucks.
Yep.
They hired him in 2019, and that has been one to where I remember when he got hired. We on the fast break, UI and Sean were like, I don't know what to expect from him. Like, don't know what to expect here. Probably low expectations.
I mean,
And
that
like,
team had been through some shit too.
yeah, and like now watching, yeah, well, grit and grind, the
Well, it
Fizdale
was a
era,
grit and
Dave.
grind, which turned into the take that for data,
Yeah.
which turned into like, well, we're just getting in fights with our all-star, all NBA caliber talent, and being it's him or me. One of
Yeah.
us has got to go. Like, the fuck
Oh.
is this organization at
Yeah.
that time?
And now it seems like watching Jenkins coach in that series against the Jazz, I was like, Jenkins is a good coach.
Got some
Like,
respect
he
for
knows
him now.
what to do.
Absolutely.
To where I wonder, it's like, is this the perfect job for an Unsled Jr. a Ham?
Wes.
Like, I'm thinking of
Yeah,
these assistants that
yeah.
we've thrown out for other
I mean,
names.
what about Nate Tibbetts out of Portland?
Yep,
They
could
made
work too.
to already rule him out basically of their search, which is interesting because he's received praise from a lot of people around the league. He's bounced around the NBA. He was on the Cavs early on as a coach,
Yep.
moved over to the OKC Thunder, had a great time with their development. Like, I think that's a name who's been in enough systems around enough highly talented prospects and players in general. Just, I think he's someone who absolutely should get a shot. Another name that I love, I know Jake's gonna hate me, but Jake's gone. Dave Yeager should get another shot. And I mean,
You bringing
I'm
the
just
asshole
saying,
to Orlando, Dave?
could you? Well, I'm trying to think of like, how do you make the best out of a situation where you have an extremely gifted point guard, an incredibly defensively like gifted wing. You've got young raw pieces. Look at what he's able to do in 1 year in Sacramento. Like, he knows how to take young talent and work with what makes them special. He took De'Aaron Fox's speed, used it to their advantage, changed their offense around that, and learned to play up tempo to being one of the most highly effective, fast-paced, fast break offenses in the NBA. Like, I feel like he understands and gets what he's working with, and will try to emphasize that and make that the best portion of their team. And I think that he's someone who absolutely should get a chance to. Oh, Jake is still here.
Yeah, Jake is here.
He said bye earlier in chat. That's why I thought he was gone.
TTP, but he forgot it's a TNT game. Marv Albert on the call.
Got that heavy breathing. That Marv Albert ASMR.
Sorry, Marv
The lip
Albert on
smacks
the
and
call.
everything. Can't. I literally can't. It gives me fucking nightmare. But yeah, I think Dave Yeager would be. I think Tibbetts, Yeager, Wes all should be at the top of this list. I would not go for one of those established guys. Chauncey obviously is I think one of the favorites go to a team more ready to win right now. That's
Yeah.
why I don't think he's gonna go there.
Mm-hmm.
And then what's his face? Already seems like Boston Celtics. Jason Kidd,
Oh,
Boston Celtics.
You think Jason Kidd
Oh,
gets the Boston Celtic job?
I'm just saying,
I
where
don't
there's
think
smoke,
he
there's
gets a
fire.
job.
Where there's smoke, there's fire.
God, I don't get that. Oh, thank
Oh,
you. Thank you, Sep, for, he says, this is easy. Kenny Atkinson, the man who knows how to develop.
that is actually genius because think about Spencer Dinwiddie's progress.
I'm sorry, Dave.
And think about
Spencer
what
Dinwiddie.
Dinwiddie, as Ricky would say.
24-year-old Ricky would say.
Spaznikov, you are absolutely correct. I don't know. I forgot he existed. Like, I know we talked about him the entirety of last season getting a coaching job. And then when he didn't, like, is he an assistant somewhere right now?
I think he's on a bench.
Or is he like what do you call it? A special, like, not
advisor,
actually on a coaching,
like
advisor
Boylan
role, like
Tibbs.
Boylan
Blazers.
did, Tibbs did. They all kind of bounce in between those roles.
He's on the Clippers bench.
Okay, so he's on the Clippers. Yeah.
100%.
Kenny would be a perfect fit. What he was able to do with that backcourt, Karras, Spence, gain the most out of those two guys. That's great. That's actually a great shout out, and I think that's almost an ideal fit. Fuck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and one of the names that Bill throws out, he even says, he's like, we discussed it in Discord. He goes, their name is always thrown out. He threw out Becky Hammon,
She's on the waiting game
job where they ask her grow, might be good for her. I'm starting to believe Soapy, Dave. I'm starting to believe Soaps of there's a reason why Becky Hammon ain't getting these jobs. It's because
she don't want them. She's waiting.
She don't want them because she's getting Pop's job when he decides to leave.
She's just waiting now. I'm with you. It's 2 years of this game where Becky was potentially the best candidate available for some openings and didn't get second interviews, didn't get the job.
The only one I know where she got really far in the interview process was the Bucks when they hired Bud.
Yeah, and honestly, I would take Bud over her. That's not even like a shot at her. Yeah. It's just Bud is someone who has taken mid-level talent with 1 star and had them be a 5 all-star team. Like, we've never seen shit like that before. What he did in Atlanta was special, and I think that he deserved the job he got. But yeah, I'm with you. I think Becky's staying at home. She's got the handshake agreement from Pop at this point.
Let me see here. So Bud... Ooh, that was weird. Bud became the coach in 2018.
Yeah,
Becky
so it's been 3 years.
All right, so Becky was already an assistant with the Spurs for 4 years at that point because she started in 2014.
Right. Yeah, she started in 2014. Started working with the Summer League group and then the G League group with her spare time. And again, like everything points to her being student of the game. She knows her shit through and through, well respected. But I think that she's just got it set up because she came in with these kids. Like if you look at the future of the Spurs and their timeline, like. Now that DeMar is probably gone, you got that young core. They align pretty well with her. I think that that's kind of what they're going for. But, I think that I really like the idea of Kenny. I like Dave Yeager, and I like Nate. Those are my 3 guys.
No matter who it is, I love the idea you threw out there, Dave. Somebody that can not only help this team develop, get the best out of these, because not all of them are young. Like Jonathan Isaac and Markelle Fultz aren't young. Per se.
No, they're under 25.
Younger, but they're not like they haven't hit their prime. But it's not like they're the fresh rooks or the sophomores out of college.
I mean, there are rookies coming out of college who are older than them. So what does that say?
Good point. But I mean, like what you said, a coach that can not only develop with them but grow with them as well, like we've seen in the league. Let's go into our last thing though, Dave. The main meat and potatoes of today. We're talking draft, and today is the Los Angeles Lakers. This is a team that got bounced out of the playoffs, Dave, a little bit early than LeBron would have liked, earlier than LA Laker fans would have liked. They sit right now at the 22nd overall pick. They do not have a second-round pick. They only have the 22nd as of right now. if we look at their team, because they're out of the playoffs, they're free agents this year. Dennis Schroeder could be gone. Wes Matthews could be gone. The Caruso could be gone. Talon Horton Tucker's an RFA. But he's got the Dave. He's got the most valuable contract in the NBA, according to Kendrick Perkins. Also,
yeah, Talon's kind of a mystery. We'll see.
Also, Jared Dudley, Ben McLemore, Markieff Morris, and Andre Drummond, all unrestricted free agents. Dave, who should the Lakers target in the NBA draft?
The Lakers should target anyone who can knock down a fucking shot. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's Chris out of Oregon. Absolutely. For the range that they're going to be picking in, if he's there, you take him. Look, we take a great shooter who can ball handle a little bit, plays okay defense, plug and play. Mm-hmm. Don't overthink this situation. I'm afraid that they're going to try to get clever with this shit and do. Remember the Marco Bellinelli trade?
Yep.
Marco Bellinelli for the 19th overall pick in the draft. It was just kind of like a what? Marco was at that point in his career where we were all kind of that ain't worth. Let's be honest. Don't try to trade out your pick for someone who is either a smaller role player or the back end of his career kind of guy. Absolutely should go for someone who is a college veteran who can contribute day one. I think that Duarte is the right guy for that.
See, but here's the thing.
If he's available.
Yeah, that's the thing. Here's the thing about Duarte. I don't have him falling anywhere after the Hawks. Every mock I do, he does not fall to the Lakers. And that's the thing where I feel like with me, if I'm the Lakers, there are 3 people on my big board, and at least 2 of them I'd have to trade up for. I think the Lakers look into trading up if you have to. Yeah. Jump up a pick, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 picks if you have to, because Duarte would be great. I think Jared Butler would be a great pickup for them.
Absolutely.
Him over Schroeder would be amazing. And I'm throwing
here's
him
the
out.
dumb thing.
Go ahead.
Schroeder's a better player than both those guys. We all know that, right?
Yeah, but I don't think he's coming back. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And the one thing that Jared Butler, yet again, rookie developing, his defense is better than Dennis Schroeder.
Yes.
And his defensive potential
may be better than his, but he can't play make. He can't ball handle anywhere close to what Schroeder can do. I know we like to disrespect guys on their way out because they're so poor. He doesn't need to ball handle
if he's filling Schroeder's role. LeBron can ball handle.
No, because LeBron's not on the court 48 minutes. That was sort of the problem. That was why they needed Rondo. But yeah, no, that's a fair point to bring up. I have the one name. One name. Ricky, your boy.
I would assume I was going to say it. He'd be the perfect fit. He can drive. He can play make. He can drive. Now, is he a little wonky at times and gets away from him? Yeah, but he can shoot. He just needs to work on a more consistent outside shot. He can drive to the basket. He can play defense. Dave, he's
physically there. He's physically there. He's got an NBA ready body. That's one of the biggest upsides for this. He's not a kid anymore. He is 21. 21 right now, right? 22? Okay.
I'm looking at it.
He'll turn 22 by the start of the season, worst case scenario, But yeah, I think he's a guy who they absolutely should.
He's 21 and a half right now.
There we go. He's a guy they absolutely should keep tabs on because I think that he's getting slept on still. He's had some incredible performances in college. His tape is out there. We got years and years of it now. And he's done spectacular, incredible things. And I think that he's a player who's probably ready to contribute closer out the gates. If you wanted to be hey, we're drafting BPA, shit, if a Sharif Cooper was there, fucking do it. Pull the trigger, man.
Dave loves. Is Sharif Cooper going to be the Tyrell Terry of 2021?
Shut up. Shut up. We will see. We got plenty of time, Ricky. We got plenty of time. Don't you disparage Tyrell, man. Let's not do that. Let's not do my Tyrell Terry.
Or Sharif going to get hit with the Ben Simmons, You're too small, Dave.
Too small. I love the idea of going after someone. It's just anti-LeBron is the problem. Sharif would be great.
Yeah.
He could be fire. He could be absolutely electric for this team, and he's the passer they desperately need. And it's like you have that wild card moment of like, we're taking a guy with incredibly high upside, but also he's a 6 foot nothing kid who will be a liability on defense. So you get the passing, you get the driving, you get the court vision, but you don't know what you're going to get from a shooting standpoint. You don't know what you're going to get from a defensive standpoint. Can you get by with that on a team that has championship aspirations here?
Yeah.
It's a risk, but it might be one worth taking. Like you go for the finished or more finished product in IO, or you go for someone who has that upside like Sharif, where we didn't even see the best of him out of college because he came off of an injury and started halfway through a season on a team with no fucking talent and a terrible coach. No disrespect. Actually, I mean all the disrespect.
I mean, and that's the reason why, like, I mean, the three we threw out at the beginning, why Duarte, Butler, Io. The one thing I love about all three of them, Duarte was a senior, and then Io and Butler were both juniors. So, like, this is a team that I think, like, obviously they're going to want to go back to the championship. LeBron is not done, doesn't want to be done. Terrence Mann, I think, would also be another good pick, but yet again, I feel like
I don't know if he's
with me.
I'm not in on that.
With me, I'd pick the other three before Terrence Mann. That's why Terrence Mann isn't even a thought to me, because I feel like the three that we've mentioned in Duarte, Butler, and Io are
you mean
all
Trey
in
Mann?
Play. Yeah, Trey Mann, not Terrence Mann.
Terrence Mann's playing on the Clips
right
now.
I want Trey Mann to go to the Clippers so we can get Trey Mann.
Man on man action.
Yeah, in the same lineup. Man on man, Dave. Everyone's favorite defense. I mean,
we seem pretty focused in here. We think they need a ball handling guard. Is that the priority out the gates for this team?
Or just someone who can add off. Like you said, someone who could just hit shots too would work. And that's why it's like Duarte, he doesn't even, yet again, doesn't need to handle the ball because he adds shooting and defense. Like, it would be helpful if he can, which he could do, but it's like they just need someone, to me, a scorer who can shoot the ball and who will not come up short when the game is on the line, but like, you can't be Kyle Kuzma out there. You can't be clanging and banging, as The Rock would say, when your three-pointers just won't go in.
Ricky, if you're looking for scoring, what about this year's KOC-approved player? I mean, think about Cam Thomas draining shots for the Lakers. He goes from LSU to LA, keeps the purple and gold. What amount of impact would that have? Because he is a fucking walking bucket. And KOC has him at 13 on his big board. We know how KOC likes to get bold. Kevin O'Connor is a unique perspective on basketball, not meant for everyone. So I will just put that stamp out there. But I do think that he's not wrong on the idea that, hey, offense has never been more valuable in the NBA. Yeah. And Cam Thomas has a fucking shot.
So here's the thing. Sap also, thank you for the $5. Says bit off the cuff, but could you see a sign-in trade involving Jay Rich and Powell for the 22nd and Dennis Schroeder? It would have to be a sign-in trade then. Would it be like a handshake Lakers would pick for the Mavericks, and then there'd be a sign-in trade with Dennis Schroeder, but in that case, Dennis would have to go to Dallas.
He might want to, though, to be fair. Like, that's not a bad setup for Dennis, and they have the money to pay. Jay Rich has been a disappointment for Dallas.
Yeah,
I think that
I don't know if I do that if I'm the Lakers, because I feel like that is the Mavs getting rich, the Lakers not the Lakers taking on a poor contract in Powell, and
Is Powell's a poor contract?
I mean, $11 million for the type of player he is, like, it's not ideal.
I don't know.
Like, that's why I say poor, not bad.
Okay, Jay Rich is also gonna be free.
And like, Jay Rich is just, it's like, I don't know if I want Richardson and Powell for the 22nd. I'll take any of the guys that we have mentioned. I'd even take Sharif Cooper over them, probably.
Okay, watch your fucking shots.
And I am not a Sharif Cooper fan.
Watch your goddamn shots. You're the Trae Young fucking lover, and you got a problem with Sharif Cooper? Get out of here with
Sharif
that,
ain't no
you
Trey,
fucking
Dave. He'd be a
hypocrite.
lot higher
You,
if he was Trey.
you goddamn hypocrite. No, like Josh Richardson, how the mighty have fallen. Like this man as the sole offense of the Heat just a couple of years ago, 25-5. I mean, he was efficient. He was a monster on defense, and he seems to have just like literally got space jammed. Like his basketball talent in Philadelphia just sucked out of the ball, and that they got a steal. Seth Curry, Richardson. It seemed like on paper one of the best deals. It's like, hey, Sixers get their ball handler and score, and then the Mavs walk away with a 3-and-D player. But it just never clicked. Something wasn't right about Jay Rich in fucking Dallas. So I don't know what's wrong with him. I'll be honest. I don't know if that's something you take a risk on a player like that.
Was Philly?
I know you're trying to flip him. I get that though.
Was Jay Rich in Philly after Miami or before Miami?
No, it was Miami to Philadelphia, and then Philadelphia trade for Seth Curry.
That's right.
And Jay Rich swap.
That's right.
Because Jay Rich was the Butler deal.
Yeah.
So
I was trying to think where Philly matched in with that.
Yeah, it's just a tough thing because I don't know where his value is, and I don't think it's very good. I think you get more for sign trade with Schroeder if he was willing to work with you.
Yeah.
And I think that if a team like the Trailblazers were trying to blow things up, I'd look there first.
Yeah.
I'd try to pick the bones there. You slap together a deal at 22, Schroeder, another future, and Kuzma, and you see what you can get.
Yeah, I mean, another thing I would try to do. Here's another thing I would try to do if I'm the Lakers is I would try to find anybody in the second round. Anybody in the second round that maybe it's going to be well, you know what? They either have too many picks for roster spots. Like I look at the Nets picks.
OKC.
Like OKC could be one. I look at the Nets as well because for example, 49 and even 59, are they going to want to keep those players? Like I would be trying my damnedest if I'm the Lakers to buy a second round pick to get, because I just look at people and it's like there are some guys here for example, I just had if they can get Bones from Bones Highland from VCU, you got Rokas in the second round. Fucking
Rokas probably not meant for this team, but Wieskamp, Wieskamp.
Wieskamp, you've got even Cam Thomas if he falls in the second round.
Don't think so, but yeah.
I'm just saying, even a Johnny Juzang, there are guys who they could be okay, the two prospects that we fit don't give us everything in one, but both of them together fit exactly what we need. I'd be trying to, they're the Lakers. You could cash considerations a second round pick, I think.
I 100% agree with you. I think that's probably something they should look after. A guy who I think would be great if they don't land a guard in the first round, go after Quentin Grimes. I mean, again, we're talking upperclassmen, someone who's had to bust his ass for a couple of years in college after being labeled a bust, and he's grown his game. And I think he's a pretty smart player at this point. I think that he has some upside still left in him, and I think he can contribute day one to a team who has those kind of aspirations. No, he will not be a 20-minute, 25-minute night guy, but he'll give you good minutes when you need them during the regular season. And if he grows, he grows. That's awesome. I think that's the kind of player they should be looking for if they're going second round. I would love to see them do something like that. The other guy, again, we're aiming upperclassmen. You got to look at Reeves if you're looking for scoring. It's just he's there, he's available. Why not?
I'm trying to see. So Preston in YouTube chat says, due to NBA rules, they can't trade this pick because they traded it last year for Dennis.
But it has to be done in a way that's not whatever.
To me, if they're trading their pick, there's a pick swap happening because they're moving up to where it's basically I'm moving up and they can't even move
what I
up
was
in the
saying.
draft.
If I was doing the trade your pick Kuzma and sign and trade Schroeder for somebody.
Oh, okay.
So you cannot make that deal until draft day.
But you could,
and then after you draft the player, then you can. Yeah, that's exactly the Wiggins deal happened.
Yeah.
Oh, it was Andrew Wiggins. I mean, it's exactly Wiggins, Caleb. They could not trade him until after he was drafted, kind of a thing. Yeah. So it was just there's always a way to get around, the rules. So it's a fair point, but yeah, they can definitely get around that if they get a deal in place. I just don't know the name. There's a name out there that a lot of people have been talking about on the move.
Yeah.
Pistons talking after 1 year. 1 year. People are already trying to get their hands on. No.
Killian?
Oh fuck no.
Okay. Well, you said after 1 year, so I was thinking about one of their young players.
No, who they just get from the Nuggets? Who doesn't want to be a role player? He intentionally signed.
I don't know. Oh, Jerry Grant. Right? No, right?
Jeremy Grant. Jeremy, not Jarian.
No, I thought it was Jarian.
Jarian's the point guard.
I lose track of all these fucking Grants.
Jeremy's the wing. Jarian's the guard.
Okay. Grant.
Yes. Yeah. They've already been rumored to, like, if you guys want him, maybe we'd shop him. We're a tanking team anyway, kind of a thing. And I think he's a super valuable piece. And I think that would be something that the Pistons, who seem to have landed hit after hit after hit after fucking hit in the draft now, like, they had one hell of a year with their rebuild already. So I think that's something where if you could offer them someone like Kuz and pick 22 to get Grant, that would be something they would be listening to. So I think there might be something there. I think if you're targeting a veteran wing, is there a better one on the market like DeMar DeRozan? But
Dave, the Lakers are going to get Damian Lillard. They're going to get Bradley Beal. What are you talking about?
Yeah, out that. Only if they trade in AD, and I think James would be good with that.
He'd be like, hey, Dame, you going to play more than 2 games in a playoff series?
I think LeBron would be good with it. Oh, man, I wish I knew the name. There's a YouTuber who does, like, how LeBron reacted after Game 7 or during Game 7. Or not 7, but when they lost out. And it's just him screaming at his whole team, like, down the line. And I gotta show it to you after. He's fucking hilarious. But yeah, no, I think that LeBron would trade Anthony Davis for Damian Lillard in a heartbeat. So if that has to happen, that has to happen,
Yeah, I mean, the Lakers this year, I feel like this is the easiest draft video we've done. To where, like, it could have, if we wanted to be assholes about it, we could have just been like, it's these 3 guys. All right, that was easy. Wash our hands.
Yeah, I mean, they need a ball handling guard who can score. They need an upgrade over what Dennis Schroeder was, but they've also got free agency to take care of that. But they're limited. You have to be smart with it. Could they get a Spencer Dinwiddie? Sure. Yeah. That option is out there, but he's going to have a lot of suitors.
I think for sure the one free agent that they will bring back is the Caruso. Like, obviously, they'll bring back Talon Horton-Tucker unless, like, he gets an astronomical... Let's say he gets, like, an astronomical contract and they go, no, fuck that.
He's an RFA. Or he's not an RFA.
He is
That's
an RFA.
The thing. No, he's a second-round pick.
No, he's an RFA. Yeah.
Isn't he a second-round pick? I thought second-rounders weren't RFAs. That's why Jalen Brunson... Okay, I thought that's why it was like Jalen Brunson's not an RFA. So I figured he wasn't.
I'm going to see if I'm wrong. I have been wrong at some times.
No, it's fair. Contracts are always fucking with me.
Let's see. Lakers. Let me pull it up again. Believe he was an RFA on the list.
Was THT a first rounder?
The riveting content, guys. I know. Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is.
It says Talon Horton-Tucker, RFA.
Okay.
So, like, they would have the opportunity to match it, but if he gets overpaid, I ain't fucking matching that shit for Talon Horton-Tucker. Like,
yeah.
Like, he ain't no Luka Doncic, you know what I'm saying?
Well, he's not much of anything. He had one great series in the playoffs, and his dick got sucked because he plays in LA. I mean, that's
you're
what it
right.
is.
He was a second rounder, 46th overall.
Yeah, it's so weird because Jalen Brunson's a UFA.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe they signed him to a different contract.
Maybe. I don't know why.
Like, maybe it was maybe it was something like that. Because I'm like, Jalen Brunson, everybody's already been talking about the fact that he could be gone because he's got a UFA in 22-23. So
yeah, but like the only free agent that I'm like clamoring to keep, if I'm the Lakers, is the Caruso, just because like
great defense
for every meme, he's actually a good NBA player. Yeah. One thing before we end, I do want to bring up. Let's see if I can find it. Something that Sap said that I agree with. Said, Ricky, every pick has value. The Joker was a late first, and Rudy was an early second. I agree. That's why I'm saying the Lakers in the second should try to buy a pick. Get 2 in this draft class because this is, I mean, yet again, we could all be wrong in the end, but I would say that we are looking at this draft class like it is one of the deepest draft classes that we've seen. To where it's like, I couldn't remember a time we were talking about second round prospects, Dave, in May. In
depth, because we know this shit. Talk about great second rounders. Soon to be Marko Simonovic coming over to the Chicago Bulls, going to be our backup center next season probably. He's been killing it. And I think that I agree. Second rounders ain't none to fuck with.
Are we saying the name right? Is this a Nico Mirotic situation?
Entirely
a Mirotic, as we thought it was?
Entirely possible.
Nikola Mirotic, and it's like,
there you go,
Mirotic.
Kofi Coburn. Talk about centers. If Andre Drummond does not sign,
do you want me to not want to root for fucking Kofi Coburn?
That's a great call though. Like if we're talking, like he could go undrafted. There's a potential for that. We think he has end of first, middle, second round talent because just physically he is fucking.
I'm gonna say I think he got at least a second round promise.
Yeah.
I yet again, I don't know if he gets. I don't know if a team like. I don't know if you avoid coming back for an undrafted promise. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, I'd want that like guarantee of like I'm at least. I mean,
sometimes the UFAs make more than second rounders.
Yeah, I'm talking about job security.
Uncommon.
Like
how long
the contract is, and I don't know if like the undrafted is the same or a lesser contract.
You can get bigger contracts as a UFA. Okay. That's the whole point is guys opt out of contracts after usually like pick 45. Yeah. Because you can get more guaranteed money from a UFA handshake deal.
Yeah, I mean,
so something to think about. Drummond will not get the max in free agency unless it's from Sacramento because Vlade loves his game.
Yeah,
like, that's the only team.
Holmes is going to Dallas. Drummond comes in as a max contract to the Kings.
Poor De'Aaron Fox, man. That poor fucking kid's gotta get out.
He gets stuck with fucking Andre Drummond. I'm putting DeAndre there.
Get that hairy shoulder in there.
Yeah, but that is gonna do it for us today. Thank you guys for being as awesome as you always are. Remember, join the Discord if you're not in it already. That link is down below in the description. If you want to support us, you can either check out patreon.com/MVPvids, or you can become a channel member. Both are the same exact thing. Thank you to our sponsor of the show, Pat Hill. Sub, like, comment, hit that notification bell, all that good stuff. Let us know what you guys think down below. Thank you again for being as awesome as you always are. Tomorrow, there will be more NBA action. It'll be, Dave, you're paired up with who should have been on today, but we had to call an audible. Soapy will be on, and you're talking Clippers draft tomorrow.
We shall see.
Believe tomorrow.
We shall see.
We shall see indeed. But that is going to do it for us. Thank you guys.
Thanks, Spaz, for the.
Yep. Thank you for the $2 and $5. The $7.
Yeah.
Thank you
super
for
chat.
That.
I think that was our first super chat.
Soapy hit us up yesterday. Soapy and someone. Shit. I think Soapy and Chainsaw yesterday.
He's my first. He took my virginity.
Yeah, he took your super chat virginity. Not mine and Jake's, though. But that'll do it for us. We'll be back tomorrow. Have a good day, guys.
WPN.